It's 1:01 in the morning. I'm proud of myself for recording this because I was crying right before I sat down to meditate. And it's funny because today I experienced like the full range of human emotion. I had my work day, which, by the way, I do have a job that I get paid for. I think sometimes people think I'm this like mystical creature, just floats around and does little twirls and like does my walks and somehow like money falls out of the sky. But I do have a regular job that I go to every day. And I had lots of meetings today and got so much work done, was really productive. So I was like, ooh, I'm so busy. And then I went and met a saint from India, and that was a magical experience. I went with Danny and Talia and Annie, and we basically packed into this little house, and we were like all sitting on the floor and seats all around, and the saint from India comes in the house and people are like putting rose petals on him and leis of flowers on him. And we started the experience, I don't even really know what else to call it, by chanting this Hare Krishna chant. And from my understanding, I might be butchering this, but Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Krishna and Rama are the feminine and masculine gods that balance each other out and flow together in perfect harmony. And we started saying this chant, and I don't know if you've ever said a mantra before over and over and over again. I've done this for the first time recently. I started going to these transcendental meditation classes where we say a mantra 108 times, and you really do clear your mind. It is amazing. Try to say a high vibration phrase or an affirmation 108 times. Just give that a whirl, because man, there is something really powerful about sitting there with yourself, and in this case with a group of people, saying the same thing over and over again and feeling like the soap bar really get on in there in the nooks and crannies of your brain and clean your brain, and you just feel like you're buzzing afterwards. And so we have this amazing like chanting experience, and there's like these drums that are playing and we're clapping and we're singing together, and we're going up in volume and down, and it was just this beautiful experience. And I like closed my eyes most of the time and just felt the wave of sound come over me and just vibrating on the floor, and this like beautiful almost organ-like instrument that just reverberates off the walls. And oh my gosh, it was really, really, really special. And I just put my hands out like this, my palms open and my eyes closed, and I could just feel the buzzing tickle my fingertips. Just feel the vibrations rise up from the ground to my fingertips. Special, really special. And then the saint, gave a lecture of sorts, and then we started singing some more and dancing and going up and down and like kind of like spiritual mosh pit. It was like, what the? And we were like bouncing around, and it was awesome. And I'm just like losing myself and bouncing. I'm just laughing, and oh my gosh, the energy was incredible. The energy was incredible. Wow. So I went to that high, and then after the event, Danny and Talia had a conversation with me where, because, you know, we love each other so much, and we always tell each other the truth, and we call out what we see, and that's what we do. But they basically had a conversation with me where they were like, you really, really deserve the best in love, and you have such a radiant energy right now, and you're at the peak. You know, you're at the peak of love and your radiance. And Talia was like, at this event, all the single guys are like orienting themselves to you, and I just don't, I don't want you to be married in your head to a guy who doesn't deserve it. And, she's just really right. I have this way of loving. Like, I wish I could love less sometimes. But it's just so rare that I actually really like someone, like a man. I like everyone. I find love for everyone, but it just feels really rare for me to like really truly like love who a man is at his core and see a future and feel like our personalities are compatible, and I feel really attracted to him, and it's easy to be with him, and I feel comfortable, and I can be my full self, and I can be funny and wacky, and my inner child can come out to play, and I can be smart, and he likes that I'm smart. And it's just easy. It just feels really easy to be myself. It's easier to be myself these days. I think these videos have really helped me with that. To integrate all sides of me. So maybe this isn't, a lot's changed in 12 days, right? Maybe I don't even have to be stressing out about this. Maybe I'm bugging for no reason, right? But I think in the past, it's always just felt really heavy for me. Like romance has felt heavy for me because I so rarely like someone back. And I think that there's this interesting little dance that I do. Saying it out loud is kind of funny. It makes me realize how counterintuitive it is, but when I actually really like a man, which it does not happen often, it's only happened, I can count on one hand, like less than all fingers on one hand, how many times it's happened where I've chosen the man, you know, when usually I'm the one who's chosen and I just kind of like roll with it because the guy really likes me a lot and is so passionate about me and effusive about his love for me and about how much he sees a future with me that I get swept up in his choice. I get swept up in his story and I go along with it. I'm like, oh wow, well, you must know, because if you are so passionate about me, then you must be right. And it's very rare that it's me, you know, that I see a man that I really like and that I see a future with, and I'm like, you. I want you. And I'm in a situation, not a situationship, let's be clear. No. There's just somebody I have a crush on. And it is mutual. But there's a lot going on right now, and I think I like hesitate to say how I actually feel because it's really scary. It's really scary. I'm not usually the one who says how I feel. I try to protect myself. It's hard to own that feeling for me. It's so silly. You know, sometimes I just look at myself and I'm like, can you get over yourself? But even just to say, like, I like you feels scary for me. And so what's really ironic about it is that my friend Talia calls it the boomerang effect, where in any interaction, someone throws a boomerang of energy, right? The person who sets the frame. So if I am being withholding and I'm not owning my feeling and I'm not saying, I like you, and what are we doing here? And get your shit together. And owning my feeling. If I don't do that, then what's returned to me is an equal level of indecisiveness. It's like we're both dancing around each other because neither one of us wants to go all in. Neither one of us wants to get hurt. Neither one of us wants to take the risk. And when neither one of you wants to take the risk doesn't get taken, and you just continue to get frustrated and dance around each other, and it goes nowhere. Someone has to take the risk. And it's usually not me. And the funny thing is that, like, I think he tried to take the risk a couple weeks ago, and I fell into an old pattern where I do this thing where I like to be chosen, you know. I like to feel safe by knowing that a guy like really sees my value and sees all that I am, because I really am a lot of things. things at once. I'm funny and I'm smart and I'm successful and I'm attractive and I'm playful and I'm just a great partner. I'm very warm, very nurturing, very loving. I'm a lot of things. I feel like I'm everything that I would want in a partner. Like, they say that you should be the person you want to be with. You should have all the qualities of the person you want to be with, and I really do feel like I have all of the qualities at this point. And you know what's funny? Is the one quality that I've always wanted in a man, in a partner, is directness. And as I'm talking right now, I realize that this has always been the thing I struggle with men I actually like. I have no problem being direct in any other area of my life. Because like you saw my video yesterday on people pleasing, I learned how to be direct. It was not always a skill that came to me naturally, but I worked really hard at it. I'm always turning over the stones, and I'm always working on myself, and I'm always trying to be a little bit more free, a little bit more loving, a little bit more warm, a little bit more a little bit higher, you know, just trying to step up the levels to my highest self. And I realize as I'm talking that this directness that I want in my life partner is something I need to embody, even though it scares me. For some reason, even though I'm able to be very direct with most people in my life, with my friends, with my family, people at my walks, I don't people please anymore, even though I've come to be very direct in most circumstances. There's always been a block when it comes to guys I actually really like. And that wishy-washiness and the way I freeze up, and if a guy starts, who I like, you know, starts telling me things that he likes about me, instead of me saying, I like you, or, you know, you're so special to me, and I've never met anyone like you. And I want to see where this goes. You know, instead of standing in what I want, I'll ask questions. I'll be like, they'll be like, oh, you know, I don't see you like other girls, and you're special to me, and I like you. I'll be like, really? Why? Just an old pattern. I make myself laugh because it feels a lot safer for me to keep the focus on them and their vulnerable admissions rather than say some of my own, you know, put some of my skin in the game. And what's funny about that is you throw a boomerang of like, I feel the same way, but I'm not reciprocating. Technically, I'm not. It's all in my body, it's all in my heart, in my head, but I'm not actually speaking it. So of course a guy is gonna sit there and be like, oh, wait, does she not like me the way that I like her? And then he's gonna retreat, most likely. It just makes sense. Why I would do the same thing. If I opened up my heart and said all of these things to someone and then they literally just ask questions and were like, oh, really? I'd be like, oh, well, y'all mind if I hermit crab and disappear into that good night? Never to be vulnerable and bring that up again? Or I'd probably just tell myself like, whoa, well, when that person feels that way, then they'll tell me. But until then, I can't say I blame anyone for doing that. I'd probably do the same thing. But you know, the grand irony of it is that I do feel the same way. I just have the hardest time voicing it when I actually like the guy. It's like it makes it real. It's like that Rumi quote, you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens. I don't want to have my heart broken again. I've been through some real deep pain. But you can't experience love unless you put your whole self into it. You can't, love isn't safe. Love is risky. Love is the ultimate risk. And it's the ultimate reward. You have to be willing to put your whole self into it. If it's true. And for me, it is true. I'm an intense person. I love with everything I have, every cell in my body. Danny even made a joke today in the car. Because he's like, you're married in your head. And I'm like, yeah, that's just how I am. I'm very loyal. You know, when I pick a guy, no one else exists to me. It's just like, this guy is everything. I'll never look at a man again. You know? I'll never want another man. Like, I'm happy with this one man. I'm just like I'm an obsessive lover. And not in a bad way, but I love deeply. Like, I love the idea of attending 1,000 births and deaths for the person I love, because that's what life is. The goodness of relationships comes in its depth. You know, you pick someone who you really, really like at their core. You like their personality, you like how you feel with them. You like their morals, their values, their character. You like how they show up. You like how they treat their friends. You like how they treat you. You like how they treat waitstaff. They're just your favorite person in the world. That person who you can be at an event, you look across the room and you lock eyes with them, and there's this inner world between the two of you. So much is held in that glance. Everything is held in that glance. You can read them like a book with that one glance. And it's like, that's what you get when you love someone deeply. Yeah. It's just beautiful. Living in your own little world with your favorite person. That's what you get when you love deeply. pick that person, and that's it. You're committed, you're locked in. It's like you just sign up for this field trip of 1,000 births and 1,000 deaths over a lifetime together. Like, I love you so much in your current version, and I can't wait to see all of the versions that'll come into existence. Because I love the core of you. That's just how I've always been. I love very, very, very deeply. And when I latch on, I choose somebody, it's just like, I'm happy. I'm so happy with you. And I love you. I love you today. I love you tomorrow. I'll love every version of the person you're gonna be. And sometimes I wish I could be a little bit more chill. Because that's really, that's intense. And it's hard to love the way that I love in a culture that seems so dead set on shallow love. I don't do well in the shallow end of anything. Situationships, never. Nope. Casual sex, nope. Can't do it. Nope. I can't do anything shallow. I can't do anything casual. I'm just a black or white, all or nothing, 0 or 100 person. But you know what's really funny? I say all this, and I'm afraid to tell a guy I like that I like him. I'm married in my head, but I won't say I like him. Oh man, I make myself laugh. I am a funny, funny bird. When I say I'm married in my head, there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, I just have a very creative, imaginative mind. Like, I don't like a guy unless I can see a future with him. I don't know. I just don't think there's a point to anything else. I just do not think. I think that, seriously, if you're dating someone and you can't see a future with them, break up with them. Tomorrow. I'm not kidding. What is the point of dating if you don't see a future with that person, right? Or like, if you have gotten to know somebody and you don't, I can't be the only person who gets married in their head, right? And like locks in that way. Maybe it is odd. It probably is. But I feel like for the right guy who's also like that, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna be just so obsessed with each other and so locked in and so Danny said, you're in the car and he's like, your husband's going to be very lucky because you are so obsessed with him. He doesn't even exist. I was like, Danny, I'm not married. And he's like, I know. But, you just don't, you just have such tunnel vision, You only have eyes for a husband that doesn't exist. And, I just think that's beautiful. I think that's really special. And, maybe it is special. Maybe it is special. I can't change myself, though. I've always been like this. I've always been very intense. I've always just been, I don't know, something out of a romance novel from yesteryear. That's always been how I am. Moody and emotional, and I love so deeply, and I I ride or die. I mean, I was even joking with Talia and Danny. It's like, I don't want to be a girlfriend again. Like, I've never been a girlfriend. Like, I do not know what girlfriendly duties are. Like, I act like a wife. Like, that's why I made a joke with them. I was like, can I just skip to the part where we're married? Because I don't want to be a girlfriend. I act like a wife. Like, I will be your ride or die. I will go to the ends of the earth with you, my king. You set the vision. I got you. I know exactly what to say to how to motivate you. I know I can use my intuition to guide you, but I trust your vision. I trust your leadership, and we will build an empire together. That's just how it is. That's how it's gonna be with that husband who doesn't, well, he exists. He's out there, but he's in my head for now. He hasn't materialized in the in the 3D, if you will. But anyway, today was just the epic highs and lows of all of the emotions. The ecstatic joy to feeling judgment towards myself for being married in my head, but also not even being able to tell a guy I like him because I'm scared of opening myself up like that for no reason. That's what today was. And while I was in my meditation, I was just reflecting on this. I'm trying to be very gentle with myself. I'm trying to keep a positive mindset about love. I'm very, very, very positive about love, but I think sometimes I can convince myself that there's not very many men out there that I could love, you know? I don't have any problem with guys being interested in me, but it's just very rare that I'm interested back. And when I am interested back, I get so nervous about it that I am not my full self, and then I end up sabotaging it because my full self is pretty freaking awesome, and I will like default to showing the guy only my smart side because I don't know, there was just an old pattern that was like, I'm gonna be devalued if a guy sees me as sexual, a guy I like sees me as sexual, so I need to show him that I'm really smart, and he needs to understand that. And then what happens is that I become a nutty professor nun, and I go heavy on the great conversationalist and dropping insights and very, very smart things. Basically like what I do in these videos. I'll just go on dates that'll last for 8 hours long, and we'll have the most incredible conversations, but I literally will not stop talking. And the guy's like enthralled because he's like, wow, like you're Socrates and you have such great ideas and I love talking to you, but also like I'm attracted to you, and why are we not physical? Like why is that not happening? Like why is there no moments for kissing? And it's like, oh, maybe that's because I won't shut up because I'm really nervous. That's probably why. Maybe it's because I won't shut up, you know? Maybe because I won't stop flapping my lips, and you cannot find a moment in this 8-hour date to actually kiss me. Maybe that's why. Because I get so nervous and I need you to think I'm smart. I'm really bad, and I can't have you think I'm sexy or I'm gonna short circuit. I don't do this anymore. I healed this, but like this, as of like literally a couple of months ago, was how I would show up. I would be a nutty professor nun. It was very, very, very funny. You know, I crack myself up. I really have grown a lot in the last couple of months. I'm very proud of that. But there's always growth areas still left to uncover and rocks left to turn over. And one of them is my directness and really like owning my feelings and saying what I want to say and bringing the same level of directness into my romantic life when I do like a guy, into all areas of my life. I really do think that when I can conquer this, I'm going to be unstoppable. I'm very powerful when I own my feelings. I'm very powerful when I stand in my truth. And if I can get to the root of what prevents me from standing in my truth with men I actually like, I think I'll like be married very quickly, honestly. I think it's like this is the missing piece that's preventing me from like calling in the right person, or making it work with someone, making it work with the right person. I've done such great work. I think sometimes I just get emotional because I judge myself, and then when I judge myself, I fall into old patterns of like scarcity and thinking, oh, are there enough men who I actually can see it with, and like, oh, you know, am I too dead set on this one guy, and maybe I should open up my options. And then I think, oh gosh, like opening up my options, but I'm not a normal person, and you know, dating normal people just does not go well for me because I don't ever really like them. And you know, it's just then I have to just go through the dating slog, and it just kind of like goes into this little rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't need to go there. Let's not go there, you know? Let's just stay right here. So, you know, I'm gonna try to ground myself in owning the feeling, because when you own the feeling, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen, in the absolute worst case scenario, is you get rejected. You know, you say, I like you. I don't like you. Okay, now we're both free to move on and find somebody who's for us. I saw this thing on Twitter yesterday where this guy was like, I went up to a girl and said, I find you attractive. And she said, thank you, I really appreciate that. I don't feel the same way. And he said, I love this interaction, and I literally still feel a high from telling her I found her attractive, even if she didn't feel the same. And I was like, wow, could it really be that easy? Could it really be that easy to just see something and go for it? And I've shifted something in me. I think that's why it's so frustrating, because when Talia is like, you're in your peak radiance, I know that's true because I can feel it. I've shifted so much. I used to be afraid to make eye contact with people. Like with stranger men, I used to be afraid, you know? And I used to like wear glasses and like hide my eyes, and wear baggy clothes and hide my curves and hide my body when I was in public. And now I like walk into the Chipotle and I make eye contact with every man who looks at me. I egg it on. I look them straight in the eye. Today there was this table of construction workers, which used to be a little bit of a trigger for me because when I went to college, there's a lot of construction going on, and I had to pass by the specific construction crew on my way to one of my classes. And it was like the same crew, right? And every day they would catcall me, and there was something in that like really kind of upset me and scared me, and you know, I had to pass them every day and I just always felt so uncomfortable. I'd like brace myself every time I passed them. And so construction workers have always been a little bit of a trigger for me. But today I walked into the Chipotle and there's a table of them. And I looked them each in the eye. Just like that. I walk in. Like, just imagine there's like, you know, a table and there's a couple of them. And I just walk in and I'm just like, and then I just walk by. And I just have this smile. And one of them came up to me. And I wish I could like walk and show you what I did, because the emotion was important. I was like swaying. I was really feeling myself. I was just walking and just like making eye contact and tilting my head and smiling. And I got in line and then I got my food and I sat down, and one of them came over to me and he was like, "You're so beautiful, can I take you on a date?" I was like, "No, thank you. I appreciate it though." And it felt great, because I used to do the opposite. I used to literally shrink myself to oblivion to avoid male attention, because I did not trust myself to say no. I used to make it very heavy. I used to be very afraid of the consequences of being attractive, you know? But lately I've shifted something, and men can feel it, you know? Men can feel that openness in my energy, the invitation in my energy. And it doesn't matter that most of the time, if not all of the time, like almost all the time, my answer is no, because I don't feel the same way. I just like to flirt. I just like to play with men. I just like to walk into a room and make eye contact and twirl around and like look at them for a long time, make them feel something. You know, just because I can. I like to do that. It's fun. It's flirty. It doesn't mean anything. There's no attachment. And I've been doing that, and I've never done that before in my life, and it feels so powerful. And so I know when Talia says, like, you're at your peak radiance, and I want you to be with a man who deserves you in your peak radiance. I don't want you to just, you know, be with somebody who's not ready for you, who doesn't deserve you, who's not showing up in a way like being the man that you deserve. Even if, you know, you see a future potential with him, or like you can't bet on a potential version of him. He's got to be who he is today, and he's got to be deserving of you and all that you have to offer right now. And I know she's right. I know she's right, because I can feel the shift in myself. I'm better than I've ever been, and I deserve somebody who sees that incredible value, and is actively working on reaching their highest version of themselves too. So anyway, this was accidentally a long one and very personal. Maybe you see yourself in my struggle, but if not, thank you for listening. I'm gonna go to bed because it's 1:45 a.m. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to this emotional one. I love you so, so much. And I hope you have the most amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Love you so much. Good night. Thanks for listening.